Thank you for being here. Appreciate it, Kayvan. Um, just for the people at home, would you be able to just kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, totally. Happy to. Well, first off, Ben, it's great to be back. So my name is Kayvan Chinichian. I am the former senior director of development at the CCI. Had the pleasure of working with the team, with the students that put on the Space Grand Challenge, and it was an exciting time while I was there, seeing how it was going to get built out and get national attention. Um, I'm also a Cal Poly alum, political science, class of 2009. And so, proud to have that on kind of my resume. And then I'm currently based in Washington, D.C., where I help with managing partnerships and grants for a think tank that focuses on bipartisan policy issues, to which one of which is workforce development. And so I'm thrilled to be here today. Feels like I'm on my old stomping grounds.
Well, we're happy to have you here again. We've had, I don't know, at this point, probably three, four conversations throughout the last Space Grant challenges, and personally, at least, this one's my favorite every single time. So I'm happy to,
All right.
talk with you again this time around.
Well,
um,
it's a pleasure. It's always a blast.
You were involved with the Space Grand Challenge, like you said, pretty early on, or at least in the early days. I'm curious if you can kind of tell the people at home about like the origin story, at least from your perspective, and what problem was it originally created to solve? Why is the Space Grand Challenge around today?
Look, the I, came into it after its formation. I believe at that point it was its first formation into a fully immersive digital environment, fully gamified
Mm-hmm.
online platform. And what I remember, those first conversations was, this is much more than an opportunity for folks in just California or just a subset of folks to play and be exposed to cybersecurity and all the various things that kids get to learn by playing in the challenge. To me, those first years that I got involved with the awesome team was how do you get this bad boy's attention across the country? And we had a lot of ideas on how to pull that together. I mean, at one stage we had the international thought on there's an international appeal to this,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say that really the core that I got excited about with the Space Grand Challenge was just the sheer volume of appetite from industry partners, government partners, looking at folks who are in the periphery of various different institutions that have cybersecurity needs, the workforce. I mean, there was just education, so teachers, both in the kind of K-12 space, but also in the post-secondary arena. I mean, just the sheer volume to me was the exciting bit, and it evolved from that point, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrilled to see that has continued kind of in that place. It's become, in my mind, the team has built together a masterclass of opportunity that is both incredibly additive for students who are trying to get introduced to cybersecurity concepts at whatever range they're at, but also on the flip side of it for the students at Cal Poly who are building something from scratch. And to me, that was an exciting endeavor, and so thrilled that it's continued.
Well, now we're finally at Space Grand Challenge 2026. I ended up joining the team back in 21, and I was talking about this with, well, Rob and kind of the SGC team the other day, and I was like, okay, I'm like, at this point, it's interesting to come back and kind of see how everything has developed over the years and all that.
Totally.
I mean, I'm definitely proud of what everything has come down to and how it continues to improve as well. Um, I don't know if you have anything kind of to add on there. You've probably seen the growth, I mean, firsthand at this point. What are some of like the kind of like proud moments that you've seen throughout that as well?
Attendance, right? Like just the sheer volume of attendance participation. I think is like one piece of it that's just like awesome to just see, right? Like this
Mm-hmm.
continued interest and growth, and I think the presence of how the game is presented
Mm-hmm.
significantly become more professional. It's matured into like a awesome operation. I remember the first game I got to participate in, and what the volume of attendance of folks watching the live stream looked like versus years later, as my last game was radically different, right? And
Mm-hmm.
last year I tuned in just briefly, and it looked awesome. I love the interviews, I love the engagement. So that and it's just volume of presence, I think, has been excellent. And look, like, without like putting without repeating myself from like the prior question, like, frankly, like, the continued importance of it, right, that has
Mm-hmm.
not changed. And it's you said you joined the game in 2021. 2026, that's a half a decade,
Yes.
right? Like, I mean, like, I think that says something, right? A half a decade's worth of engagement, worth of students who have now at this point, played the game possibly in high school, might even be working on the game now,
Mm-hmm.
in college, or are studying computer science or doing cybersecurity in their post secondary, or possibly even doing it in the workforce. So to me, like, that's incredible in terms of its growth.
No, totally. Well, I attendance and presence I actually kind of like, and I feel like right. I've seen it grow. You've seen it grow. I think that's part of the
Totally.
fun, and then seeing people. It's not so much that the competition's growing. Well, obviously it is, and I think that is obviously very much important. But it's more so that the people are growing within the competition, and that's like kind of the big one for me. Um, I think also on that note, is there like a memorable kind of like story moment from behind the scenes at the Space Grand Challenge that really, I don't know, that stands out to you?
I have a lot of fond memories.
That's good.
No, so are you specifically for like the game day? I assume like the actual challenge day, or build up to the challenge,
That is actually
or
good
both.
clarification. I would I would say for game day. I feel like game day is like the big
Okay,
one in my head, so I would say if you have anything for that.
I got a couple good ones that I'm thinking about. One one involves you, so I'll come back to that in just a second.
Okay.
But I think one of the more present things that I enjoyed is the obviously getting the chance to work with Cal Poly students. That was pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And game day has always been, for me, and if I wish I could be doing this in person, was always like the moment, right? We all came together early in the morning. We had like a nice little rallying speech, some breakfast, some donuts,
Always
and then
good.
you turn on the bad boy, and let's get after it. And we had the when we used to do this at Camp Slow, the room was lit, and kind of a space agey vibe, all very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think the excitement of seeing students working through problems, identifying issues, trying to get them resolved, working together, watching them work together, watching them go to Henry with questions, Henry providing insight and knowledge on how to approach it, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that was incredible to watch in real time, and it gave a flavor of a real time activity, that I think it's difficult to measure, but for the students that got to participate on the back end, that's really incredible, right? So I will say I'll take that as the game day thing that I've always remembered.
Mm-hmm.
that was incredible. I will specifically talk about when we did make the game international. Um, we had a winning team from, I believe it was El Salvador, and they, uh, I believe they came in pretty close to the top, if not the winning team. I think they were the winning team, if memory serves me right, um, in one of the divisions, and you could just tell that they were excited to be able to cross that boundary, and be recognized for the hard work that they had put in for that game. And then in like the 2 or 3 weeks later, they recorded this awesome video of them talking about the Space Grand Challenge and why they were excited to participate, unprompted from
Yeah,
us.
that is cool.
And I just thought that that was such a cool moment to get these like young students in high school who were like, "This was the coolest thing we've done." And let me tell you why we thought it was so cool to do. And then they, made sure that like we got the chance to see that video. And so to me, that was like that, hits all the good feels, right?
Hmm.
So that will be my like, engagement with a winning team. That would be like my fondest memory. And the
Nice.
one that involves you, Ben, is actually on the live cast. I think it may have been the game in 2023.
Okay.
We were at Camp Slow. Busy day. Everyone was pretty tired, running around, all that good jazz.
Hmm.
And y'all were wrapping up the day, and you were sitting there like giving the final goodbye of like the broadcast is coming to an end, the game is over. We were about to announce the winners in like 30 minutes because we used to give like a little break so that we could look at the winning scores and whatnot. But you were
Hmm.
trying to sign off, and I just thought behind the monitors the students had put up "That's all, folks," like the Looney Tunes logo,
Yes. Yeah,
like
yeah.
just all over the computer screens behind us, like just the subtle like joke. And
Hmm.
I just thought that that was just like the funniest thing. Just that you all were, in such good spirit after a full day of, being on caffeine and pizza and
Yeah,
all
and
that jazz,
donuts.
and throw up in the background to say "That's all, folks." And
Yeah.
so that's just I mean, it's a silly memory, but it was like it's one that stood out with me. So those are my three big, like, at least generally my big memories of the Space Grand Challenge.
No, I don't know. I like them, and I like that I'm involved in one of them. But no, I think the important one. I think realistically, every single time around, it includes like the fact of like students. That it's like, okay, this event is made by students, obviously with the support of everyone, including yourself in the past. Um, right, made for the students at home, and kind of taking that into account. I feel like as good of a memory that the El Salvador team provided you with, hey, this amazing video about, hey, thank you for everything that you do. Potentially, we can kind of now reverse it. What is one piece of advice that you would give our audience and potentially that El Salvadorian team from back then today?
I think my biggest advice, is, you know, Space Grand Challenge has always been at its root, at least how I think about it. The gamified element is the mechanism that we are trying to provide entree to a whole space, and I'm space in the scope of like the discipline of cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And the thematic use of space, as in the outer space, is just used as a way to make it even more exciting, right? Like to bring this like two abstract concepts and put it together so kids can really jump in and understand the opportunity. To me, like the thing that it's solving for is like curiosity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kids, college students, high school students, middle school students, I mean, folks who are even older, right? Like curiosity is what drives you to want to learn about something. And then things like the Space Grand Challenge are the entree to be able to understand it in a way that's easy and fun, and gives you the good feels to continue to want to learn more. And so my advice is in everything as oriented towards someone's career at any stage is that curiosity is what drives everything. And I would say, feed that because you have no idea where it will take you in terms of your career. But the more you feed it, the more you're going to be successful, and be surprised on where you end up. I started by sharing that I'm an alum of Cal Poly. Um, I was a poli sci major. How I
Hmm.
got from poli sci major, um, talking about international relations and U.S. law and Constitution,
Hmm.
from that space and domain to talking about cybersecurity workforce, getting the opportunity to work with the awesome team that is at Cal Poly, at the CCI with the students. It is a sequence of curiosities and questions and things that challenged me. And before you knew it, that's how I got there.
I mean, I think that's the best answer, probably. It's beautiful. I also agree. I think I've actually even said that in the past. Last year, I ended up doing kind of my SGC interview, and curiosity was like the big one that I also ended up focusing on. I just 100% agree. I think
I
it's like the
promise I
thing.
didn't watch your video. I promise. I promise I didn't. I wasn't trying to grease the wheels with the interview here. But no, awesome. I mean, but it's true, right? I mean, like curiosity drives everything,
Mhm.
right? That it's what gives us that motivation,
Mhm.
to learn more, to want to be a better version of ourselves, and be able to, you know, answer a question that's driving us. And then inevitably, it's like I say this not in a negative vein, but in a positive way. It's like Hydra's monster, right? You cut off one head, you have 55 other
Yeah.
heads that pop up, and it's the same thing. You cut off one question by answering it, but then you're
Mhm.
so curious about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. That is like the thing, that is going to drive someone to be successful in their career is the continued growth, of what about this, what about that, and so that's, you know it's at least in my mind a core of how
Mhm.
I think, and I think SGC hits it like right on the head.
Um, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. That's an amazing answer. I love your analogy there as well. And then also just thank you for your time. Um, yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it is my pleasure. I congratulate all of the students. I congratulate the CCI team. I congratulate the Noyce School of Applied Computing. I congratulate Cal Poly on, pulling together yet another successful, awesome Space Grand Challenge. And I look forward, to seeing it grow from strength to strength in the years ahead. So that when we are, doing this conversation, in a variation of different ways, in years to come, we'll say we were there at the beginning 10 years ago, as opposed to 5 years ago. So,
Yes.
so
Um,
my pleasure.